Hey guys, hey, how you guys are doing? How you guys are doing even? It is Wednesday and we aight. So today I'm going to talk about a subject that is very sensitive, very hard for me to talk about. If you're wondering, I got a fuzzy friend down here in my lap. For those of you who've never seen a Saki doll, that's Mama's baby. Oh, that's Mama's baby, that's Mama's Saki. And then you'll see Photo Bomber back here as well, that's Yuki. Saki is my emotional support animal. She is a Pekingese. I've talked about this before. You can search my videos for emotional support animals and the difference between that and a service and therapy dog in case you are curious. She's also shedding, so I have her hair all over my meats. So if you are brand new to my channel, I think I already said it, but maybe I didn't because, yeah, you can hit the subscribe button on one of these sides and it'll tell you that I make videos a couple times a week. You can also hit the little bell beside of it and it will notify you when I go live. It will notify you when I make a new video. Yeah, so why don't you do that? So anyway, anywho. This is a subject that is very hard on me, and it's because I made my video for how I met my husband, okay? How I met my husband, and I've gotten such wonderful feedback from everybody, but it wasn't always picture perfect, okay? There are things people allow you to see. There are things that people go through and they'll show you, and there's a lot of stuff that they won't, and I've talked about probably all of this, but I have so many videos and a lot of you are so new to the community and to my channel. I want to make sure that, you know, what you're going through, you understand that, you know, somebody else has gone through that too, and I'm willing to talk about it. So I have had, I've had depression and anxiety, and I was an agoraphobic when I met Matthew, which means that I never left my house. Rarely, damn ever, even to go to the grocery store. You could almost forget it. I would send somebody with a list. That was before everything got delivered. So now if you're an agoraphobic, you never have to leave your house and you can get everything you want by yourself. That's not funny, Nirvana. Sorry. So when I met Matthew, I was upper 400s, wasn't quite 500 pounds yet. And like I said in my video, we became friends, we talked a lot, we enjoyed each other's company, and then we fell in love with each other. But he didn't know what I looked like. And for me, that was the most scary part because I had been in relationships before to where I finally revealed who I was. And people love my personality, you know, they love the essence of who I am, but when it came to my body, they did not love me and did not want me and were disgusted, and I was treated very badly in another relationship that I was in, another long relationship I was in. I was treated very mentally badly and physically as well. So my hopes to ever have a husband were pretty much zero. My hopes to find just somebody who could, you know, tolerate me, and that hurts my feelings to say that, who could just tolerate me, who would look at me and not be absolutely disgusted. I had given up on finding somebody to love me. I was just willing to deal with somebody who could just tolerate me. And it broke my heart. But I had resigned myself to that because I didn't want to be alone, not completely. So I would find relationships online, and of course, you know, I would get really attached, and then, you know, they would be liars, or they, you know, would be married, or, you know, you never really know. And, you know, those online dating sites and stuff like that, I tried them, you know, and I even wrote, you know, in my little bios what I was like and that, but it never worked out. So when I found Matthew, I put it all out on the table. When I found him and then figured out that we really had a connection, and I was very honest and upfront about my neuroses. I was very honest and upfront that, you know, I don't leave my house, that I have a wheelchair, that I have, you know, I live in backwoods nowhere, you know, that at that point in time I didn't really speak to my family, that I was completely alone, and he still found, you know, he still thought of me and thought I was beautiful and wanted to get to know me. So what came to my mind at first was white knight syndrome, which means that somebody is with you because they want to fix you. Somebody, it makes them feel good to save you. And I didn't want that either, because here is this really hot, sexy, beautiful guy. And here I am, you know, 400 pounds, can barely, you know, I was a chain smoker, so I used to smoke as well. I don't do that anymore. You know, I would drink a lot, you know. Saki is snoring in my lap, so if you hear that, that's her. I had really bad asthma, and so me smoking didn't help that, so I wheezed a lot when I talked, and I was just so heavy, and, you know, I was very open and honest with, you know, all the things that were wrong with me. And he still wanted to meet me. And he, you know, I was like, well, this guy obviously just wants, you know, what is it called? A fixer-upper. Obviously just wants somebody that he can fix, and then, you know, he'll go on his way. Or I thought that he was just a big fat liar, and that, you know, this was some kind of a joke. So I didn't trust him. I didn't trust him even when we met, and I felt that connection because I had been so abused, so beaten down mentally, so hurt physically, so utterly destroyed in my mind. I couldn't really give myself to him. I always wondered when the other shoe was going to drop, and this was for years. This went on for years. We got married in 2010. I got gastric bypass in 2013. So we were together, you know, married together for, you know, 3 years-ish before I had my gastric bypass. So within those 3 years, I was a basket case. I was a basket case. Now, here is somebody who is outgoing. Here is somebody that is really smart and intelligent and beautiful, and he has a beautiful family. They're all gorgeous. They're all picture perfect model, fucking gorgeous. None of them are overweight. They don't smoke. They, you know, their skin is like perfect fucking family. Just beautiful. That ain't what I came from, girl. Like, I don't know nothing about that. I don't know nothing about, I don't know, No, you know what I'm saying? Like, they like to get together and do stuff and, like, have parties all the time, and everybody's always in everybody else's business. And here I come, you know, 400 plus pounds to California where he was from. And I'm in a wheelchair, and I'm over 400 pounds, and I'm old. And they're all like, the hell's he thinking bringing her here? You know, they were all disgusted. I'm going to put it this way because that's how I was treated. I'm not saying that it is exactly like that anymore. I am much more accepted now than I was then. People change. But in the very beginning, I was treated horribly by his family. Not all of them, but a big part of them, I was not treated very well. But I don't know if I could blame them. Matthew is 13 years younger than me. All right, I'm going to say it again. He is 13 years younger than me. I'm going to let you do the math because we don't math on this channel very well. So I'm 38 years old. How old is he? That's right. So when we were together, he was 13 years older than me. So his family had to deal with him bringing a 13-year-old woman, 13-year-old, that was weird. Somebody who was much older than him home, who was obviously very disabled and very sick, and they thought that he'd lost his damn mind. Now, he saw something they didn't. He saw me for me and knew that all of the weight didn't mean anything because that wasn't really me. That wasn't who I really was. Other people see you on the outside, but they don't know you. They don't know what kind of person you are. How can they unless you show it? You know what I'm saying? So mine and Matthew's marriage was rocky for at least 3 years. And I tell you why. Because number one, I was not in therapy. I was not really working on me. I was not trusting him. I was very angry. I have a lot of rage inside me from my childhood and from past relationships. And I couldn't get past that. How could somebody that looks like him ever love somebody who looked like me? So I would always second guess everything. Every time he would tell me I was beautiful, I would shrug it off. Every time he would tell me that he loved me, I'd be like, yeah, right. It takes a toll on your relationship when you don't want to have sex, when you don't want to be intimate, when you don't want to hug them, when you don't want to show them that you love them as much as they love you, when you tell them, oh yeah, right, when you have fights with them. I mean, we would have fights where I would be screaming at the top of my lungs. We would have fights and fights and fights and fights and fights, and it was all me and my issues and me being hurt. And it wasn't about him. It wasn't really about him. It was about the person that I was back then was not healthy. I needed help. I needed to go to therapy. I needed to have gastric bypass. I didn't know who I was. I was completely lost. I pretty much was on the brink of dying. And that was another thing that played on me. Something else that I constantly wanted him to leave me because I was like, what future do you have for me? This is before I even thought I could have weight loss surgery, okay? I had tried to have weight loss surgery like 10 years prior to that, and they told me I was not a good candidate and they wouldn't give it to me. So I thought that was never going to happen for me, and I was like, what is this guy doing? He's just with somebody who's just about to die. So I pushed him away. I pushed him away so often. And every time he would try to get close to me, every time he would try to love me and tell me I was beautiful and tell me that things were going to be okay and that, don't worry, don't fight me, let me love you, I couldn't because I didn't love myself. I couldn't allow him to love me. I couldn't allow somebody, I felt I had him on a pedestal and I thought he was so beautiful and so wonderful. What the hell is he doing with me? He deserved somebody better. That's the way I felt. I felt he deserved somebody who could give him kids. I still feel that way a lot of times. I felt he needed somebody who was going to be his own age, who could have longer with him in the long run. I felt that he needed to be with somebody who wasn't fat and disgusting. I felt that he needed somebody else, and I kept pushing him and kept pushing him and kept pushing him away. Just leave me alone. Leave me alone to die by myself. But he saw through all of that. And he stayed with me. And he knew that if I would just get help, if I would just try a medication, if I would just try to go to therapy, if I would just try to lose weight, we could have a healthy, happy life. And I tell you what, it took me getting my gastric bypass to really understand. It took me losing weight to find my self-worth. It took me years. It's taken me years. And my damn phone keeps ringing. Sorry about that. It's taken me years to understand who I am, to become a better person, and it has cost me almost everything. It has cost me relationships. It has cost me friends. It has cost me family. It has cost me material things. It has cost me a lot to become the woman I am today. And it almost cost me my marriage. So there's a lot of people on my friends list who are like, Matthew's the perfect guy and he's amazing and he's the best thing that ever, crapped between two legs. You're right. He is. But there was a lot of struggle for us. A lot of struggle for us. And it wasn't an easy road, and your marriage might not be an easy road, and you might not see your self-worth, and you might think that they can't love you, and you might think that you're worthless and disgusting and deserve to die. You might be suicidal. You might be feeling all of these things, and I'm here to tell you today. I'm here to tell you today that all of those things that I thought were wrong, all of those feelings that I had were wrong. That was my eating disorder. That was my mental health and my neuroses talking to me. That was my sickness telling me that I wasn't worth it. That was my sickness telling me that I shouldn't get help. I should just let myself die. I don't know what I would have done, or if I would even be here today to talk to any of you had I not had gastric bypass. And I'm still not throwing gastric bypass down your throat saying that's the only way you can ever be happy. It took me, this is my channel, this is my story, you're listening to my story. It took me losing weight in order to help fix some of the issues that I was going through. It took me losing weight and feeling better and not being so sick. Yes, I love you. I'm sorry. She doesn't like it when I cry. It took me a long time, and it's almost 4 years now, to finally see that yes, I am worth it, and yes, I do deserve to be here, and yes, I can love myself. And will it be perfect? No. Will I ever have the absolute perfect marriage ever? No. Am I completely healed? Hell no. Do I still have to work on it? Yes. Do I still have to work on my weight? Yes. Do I still have to do, all kinds of cognitive therapies and all kinds of good stuff? Yeah, I do. But in the long run, that is worth everything. My relationship with my husband, my relationship with myself and my family and friends are worth all of the things that I've gone through. And I'm very lucky that I was able to get help. I was very lucky that I didn't give up. I was very lucky that I did have a husband who was willing to push through all of the things that I was going through. I'm very lucky, and I'm very appreciative. And when I pray at night, I'm very, very grateful, and God, am I thankful. So I just wanted to come on here and just say there was many times where I told him to leave me. There were many times when I told him that he should just leave. I'll leave and never come back, and you'll never hear from me again. That hurt him. That hurt him so badly. It hurt him. It didn't just hurt me. Me saying that hurt him. He didn't want to leave me. He didn't, you know what I'm saying? I was hurting him too. So we've gone through marriage counseling. I go through a lot of counseling on my own. I do a lot of self, work. And I'm much happier for it. So I thought I'd come on here today. I thought we would talk about this. I hope it helps somebody. I hope that seeing that this is not just, fairy tale story over here where, my white knight came and put me on the horseback and rode me off into the damn sunset, because that shit didn't happen. Honey, I fell off that sucker quite a few times. Hell, I couldn't even fit on the horse at first. But I'm just saying, it's a lot of work. We are worth the work. You're worth the work. We are worth all of the work that we put in. And I love your beautiful, gorgeous, amazing faces. I hope everybody's having a wonderful Wednesday, and I will definitely talk to you later. Mwah. Bye.